two things you can do with a totaled vehicle. Well, we all know that stuff happens and sometimes you end up with a totaled vehicle. So first, what is a totaled vehicle? Well, total just means that the cost to repair the vehicle exceeds some percentage of the vehicle's value immediately before the accident. Usually it's considered actual cash value. And of course, like everything else, it varies state by state, and some insurance carriers have their own percentages. But here in Nevada, where I practice law, it's 65%. So if you've got a car that's worth $10,000 right before an accident, and then the cost to repair it is 65% or more, so in this case, your repairs are more than $6,500, then the car would be considered totaled. So what do you do with it? Well, the first thing you can do with a totaled vehicle is what most folks do, is they negotiate the value of the vehicle immediately before the accident with their insurance carrier. The insurance carrier will tack on a little something else for registration, tax, fees like that. And then you give the insurance carrier your vehicle, you give the insurance carrier the title, and your insurance carrier gives you a check, and everybody goes home and it's done. And this is very common. It usually works pretty well as long as the value of your vehicle is not less than a loan amount. Unfortunately, some people that have newer cars, especially ones that depreciate fast, will have a situation where your value of the car is here, but the loan is up here. So you have this gap between the value of the car and the loan. And so if your vehicle's totaled and you get a check for this much, but your loan is that much, you still owe the lender, this much money. And there is something called gap insurance, and sometimes people buy that, but that's for another day. So the second thing people can do with a totaled vehicle is something called keep the salvage. And what that generally means is it starts out the same. You and your insurance carrier negotiate the value of the car immediately before the crash. And then what happens is, instead of getting a check for the full value of the vehicle, you say, hey, insurance company, I want to keep the salvage, which means I want to keep the wrecked car. So what the insurance carrier will do is, instead of giving you the full value, they will deduct the value of the wrecked car, the salvage value, and usually that's a number they get from Copart or some other auto recycling company. So in this scenario, you've got your vehicle that's wrecked and you get a smaller check, but then you have the option of fixing your vehicle or whatever you want to do with it because you still own the wrecked vehicle. Now, the issue with people buying a vehicle that's been wrecked or totaled is you're going to have this salvage title, and it has to be rebuilt, or in Nevada anyway, it's called a rebuilt title after it's been fixed. So you take it somewhere, you do it yourself, you get a safety inspection, and then you have this thing called a branded title. And cars with a branded title are worth less than cars with a clean title, because if you had a choice between buying a car that's never been wrecked and buying a car that's being totaled, well, everybody's going to want to buy the car that's never been wrecked because presumably it's in better condition. Now, both scenarios 1 and 2 deal with cars that are wrecked and having insurance available. If there is no insurance available, if insurance is not used, the damaged car could be fixed by the owner out of pocket. The owner could do it themselves and still have a clean title because nobody knows the difference. So this only matters if you're looking at buying a used car and you're thinking, hey, you know what, I want to buy a car that hasn't been wrecked. And you look at a car and it doesn't look like it's been wrecked. And maybe you pull up a Carfax or something similar and it doesn't show any wrecks because the owner did it him or herself, or maybe had it sent out to a shop. So if it's not reported by an insurance company and the accident's not paid by insurance or reported in some other way, then these auto check companies aren't going to know it was wrecked either.